Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, the international students are rallying, but for what purpose?
Oswego Health is offering new health screenings for your benefit.
And what is the new award that is giving new life to farmer markets in downtown Syracuse?
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Damon Fletcher.
And I'm Rocio Trasancos.
Spring break is approaching, but not all students have the opportunity to go home for break. Regardless of where you call home, all students must pay extra if you are living on campus over break. International students are venting their frustration by making posters of preparation for a protest.
The poster making is being done at Funnell Hall, where students will design posters for the protest that will take place outside Sheldon Hall tomorrow at 1 p.m. Our WTOP-10 reporter, Jolie Santiago, is inside Funnell, listening to what the students have to say. How is it in there, Jolie?
Hello, Damon and Rocio. I am here in Funnell Hall lobby. It is connected to Hart Hall. Hart Hall mainly houses a lot of international students, and that's why a lot of students are here tonight. Here behind me is a wrap-up of the presentations that they're trying to make for tomorrow's protest. Here we have the students protesting international students being charged fees to live on campus during spring break. Here we have Jamal Akintukar, an international student, who is here to tell us what's going on. Jamal?
Yeah, I feel like international students actually pay a lot, and the cost to go back home is quite high. And the spring break is really just 1 week, and there's really nowhere to go for majority of us. Like, not everybody has relatives in the US to go to and things like that, and hotels are quite expensive and stuff. So if they could waive the fee, it would be a real advantage. It would be really, important to us, and it just feels right to all of us, really. Thank you.
Yeah, what are you expecting out of the protest?
I expect the school to make the right choice. I feel like international students deserve to feel welcome, deserve to feel at home. They pay a lot tuition-wise, they pay a lot for room and boarding. Coming here from various countries, people came from Asia, Africa, Europe, all over the world. And the fact that they're here now and they have to still pay to be here is kind of off.
Thank you, Jamal. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Jolie. Oswego Health is offering free hernia screenings to the community. This screening is an effort to help people understand they are at risk for developing chronic conditions before symptoms are present. The screening will be held on Wednesday, April 12th, at the Center for Surgical Services. For more information on the screening and how to register, please visit www.oswegohealth.org.
And WTOP will continue to talk about the story that Jolie brought to us. Now let's go to the next story. Mayor Billy Barlow has announced today a new advertising campaign to promote the city of Oswego to new residents moving upstate as a result of the micron development in Onondaga County. Some of the highlights of the campaign will be recent improvements of the downtown revitalization, waterfront development, and new recreational opportunities. This project will be brought to a final vote by the Common Council on Monday, March 13.
28-year-old Fulton man Austin Tennant has been indicted for receiving, possessing, and distributing images of child sexual abuse. Tennant will be facing at least 5 years in prison until a decision is further made about the case. Homeland Security and the Oswego County Sheriff's Office are continuing to investigate this case.
Crystal Seymour was pronounced deceased today by New York State Police at University Hospital in Syracuse. She was a 13-year-old student who was a victim of a pedestrian car crash. The Rome City School District posted to Facebook this morning reporting the girl's passing. The investigation is still going on. The accident occurred on March 4 on Helmer Hill Road in Rome.
Governor Kathy Hochul announced that the 2024 executive budget proposals after highlighting the decrease in gun violence this past year throughout the Rochester area. The plan includes more than $20 million for public safety initiatives on the city of Rochester and Monroe County in an effort to further drive down crime. Hochul's previous plans have proved to drive down the percentage of shootings in these areas throughout the past year, as she looks to continue this trend with this new budget proposal.
A spokesperson of Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh announced he's proposing a new program to reduce gun violence. The project will be based on paying gun members to stop violence. About 10 to 20% of that budget will go towards paying 50 high-risk people $100 a week. City leaders expressed their positivity, while some councilors still have some questions about the program.
The New York State Department of Agriculture announced a massive financial award to the Syracuse Downtown Farmers Market. This market is one of 11 different farmers markets across the United States to get a piece of this $700,000 reward. New York State Agriculture Commissioner Richard Ball plans the award money to help strengthen these markets across the United States and make food more available for local shoppers. Now, let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Zeke Caldon.
It was pretty cold out there, Zeke. What is in store for the rest of the week?
Well, it's probably not the news that you want to hear. It's probably going to be more cold, but it is going to feel a little bit warmer since we'll have a little bit less wind. I'll talk about how long that cold will continue. Plus, we're tracking a potential weekend storm which could impact your plans for travel for spring break, and I'll also take a peek at spring break itself here in Oswego. Back to you guys at the desk.
Coming up later tonight, people are charged with domestic terrorism in Atlanta.
And an update of the Americans kidnapped in Mexico. Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Good evening, folks. Storm Team 10 meteorologist Zeke Caldon here with a look at your forecast. Mostly gloomy across the region tonight. A few snow showers out in Syracuse and Cortland as a few snow showers moved through the Tug Hill today, and they're kind of dissipating. Tonight we could see some snow showers here in the Oswego region. It'll get down to 23. It'll still be a little bit windy tonight, but as we see tomorrow, it'll get a little less windy and it'll feel a little bit warmer as a result. Today it almost felt like 15, 20 just because the gusts were so bad. But tomorrow around 32, it'll probably feel in the upper 20s with that wind around. And looking at the midweek, Wednesday night 25, and we'll see those winds continue to go down. So it should be a little bit more comfortable. We might see some snow on Wednesday night and otherwise gloomy for the remainder of the week until Friday, when we see this setup of a storm system that could bring some snow to the region, but it's really going to depend on some of the temperatures and how the track of the storm moves. It could be rain, could be snow, but either way, we'll be seeing some slippery conditions as people look to get out of here for spring break. So definitely stay tuned on that so that you can make sure you get out of here as safe as possible. Looking at the 7-day, yeah, it's going to be mostly gloomy and mostly 30s for most of the forecast. So definitely keep that coat on. It's not spring yet. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Zeke. Two small planes collided over Lake Hartridge in Polk County, Florida. The lake is located near the Winter Haven Regional Airport. The county chief said that there is at least one deceased from the incident, and it is unknown how many more were on the plane when the collision occurred. Authorities are currently conducting an air and water search.
The protests on Cobb City in Georgia are discussed in a council meeting. Aisha Wilson spoke with the city leaders.
Police estimate that about $150,000 worth of damages at the site and 35 vehicles were towed.
Workers across France made successfully froze the country today as they promised. Hundreds of thousands of people in more than 200 cities took part in a national strike. This comes as unions intensified their fight to protest a plan to raise France's retirement age. Tensions rose from the protests, with police stepping in.
New information is revealed about the Americans who were kidnapped in Mexico. Rosa Flores has more. Some of the images shown may be disturbing.
2 of 4 missing Americans are back in the United States and receiving medical treatment in Texas after being kidnapped in Mexico, after what a U.S. official tells CNN was a case of mistaken identity. 2 members of the party were found dead, and one of the survivors is severely injured with a bullet wound to his leg, according to U.S. and Mexican officials. In the party of 4, Latavia Washington McGee and Eric Williams survived. Zindell Brown and Shahid Woodward were killed. They crossed the border from Brownsville, Texas into Matamoros, Mexico on Friday for McGee to obtain a medical procedure, according to a friend of McGee's. They drove a white minivan with North Carolina plates across the border and got lost while trying to locate the medical clinic where they were headed, the friend told CNN. Before they were able to locate the clinic, disturbing video shows the aftermath of the kidnapping as heavily armed men loaded them into a white truck and transported them to various locations to evade capture, according to Mexican officials. The Mexican president saying today during a news conference that those responsible will be found and punished. A U.S. official familiar with the investigation told CNN they believe a Mexican cartel kidnapped the group after mistaking them for Haitian drug smugglers. Mexico's president saying the Americans were caught in a confrontation between 2 groups. The State Department has issued its highest level 4 warning: do not travel to Tamaulipas state, where the group was abducted, due to heavy crime and kidnapping in the region.
There are many people who cross over that border for these medical appointments.
Attacks on U.S. citizens are unacceptable, no matter where or under what circumstances they occur.
McGee and Williams are now under the care of the FBI, and U.S. officials are making arrangements to bring home the bodies of Brown and Woodard.
Our immediate concerns are for the safe return of our citizens.
Stay tuned for a delicious new vegan option on the market.
And are you stressed? Find out which method of breathing will help you the most.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. The CEO of Starbucks has agreed to testify before the Senate Committee on his company's labor practices. The Senate's Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee found an issue in the company's efforts to squash employee efforts to unionize. Senator Bernie Sanders calls the company's anti-union mission illegal. The committee has wanted to hear from Howard Schultz for weeks, but has refused. Starbucks instead offered to send its chief public affairs officer, but Schultz will testify on March 29th.
Hershey has announced that they will be releasing vegan options on their candy. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and Chocolate Bar with almonds and sea salt will now have plant-based options. The products are made with oats instead of dairy and are designed to still have their signature chocolate flavor. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups will be available nationally this month and the Almond Chocolate Bar in April.
It's a medicine commonly used to treat people with breathing problems, but liquid albuterol is now in short supply and the shortage expected to get even worse. It's a potentially life-saving drug.
That's been on the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's shortages list since October, and the liquid albuterol scarcity is expected to get worse after a major supplier to U.S. hospitals recently shut down.
We want to make sure that everyone is prepared and that we get ahead of this problem before it becomes disastrous for so many people.
Products from the one remaining major domestic source of liquid albuterol are on back order. Different areas are experiencing different supply issues. At Nationwide Children's Hospital in Ohio, their stock will depend on demand over the next couple of weeks.
We continue to receive shipments periodically, somewhat unexpectedly, but ultimately it's something that we are continuing to monitor to make sure that we have the drug that is needed for our patients.
Allergist Juanita Mora with the American Lung Association is advising her patients to make sure their albuterol inhaler is on hand and not expired. She says anyone who can't find the liquid form of the medicine can use the inhaler instead. Right now, albuterol inhalers don't seem to be impacted by the shortage.
It works just as well at opening up the lungs, especially when there's wheezing, shortness of breath, cough, or inflammation of the airways.
Mora says not to panic. Supply priority will be given to hospitals to treat those experiencing emergencies.
If you already have albuterol in liquid form at home, there's no need to rush and get more.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The allergist says there are also other medications that can help, and she says talk to your doctor about the options that are right for you.
The United Nations says people around the world are living longer. The organization's population division also says the gap between highly developed regions and the rest of the world is gradually closing. Global life expectancy for both men and women in 1950 was just 46 years old. As of last year, it's improved to 71 years old, and life expectancy could rise globally to 77 years old by 2050, except for in Africa.
According to a new study, size may be the best way to calm yourself and relieve stress. Researchers separated more than 100 people into 4 groups. Each group had to practice either mindful meditation, box breathing, cyclic hyperventilation, or cyclic sighing. Researchers then assessed mood, anxiety levels, and sleep behavior after each breathing or meditation session. They found that all forms of breathing and meditation improved mood and anxiety. They also found breathing was more effective than meditation, and sighing made the most difference. Coming up in sports, Luke Ratti has the latest.
Luke, can you give us a quick preview?
Hey guys, lots to cover from the last week, including a SUNYAC hockey championship that went down to the wire and an important win for the Syracuse Orange. All that and more after the break.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that black.
Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep. 10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin.
Welcome back. I'm Luke Ratti, here with your Tuesday night sports report. A game that was highly anticipated by fans all over Oswego ended with a devastating finish to another Lakers season, as the Plattsburgh Cardinals would go on to defeat the Lakers in the SUNYAC championships with a final score of 2-1. An early goal by Cardinals player Adam Tredowicz, followed by an empty net goal by Carson Gallagher, would be the difference in this game. Another season in which the Lakers came so close just to fall short. They'll hope for better fortune next season. The Lakers men's basketball team, however, has been on an absolute tear. After having won the SUNYAC championship game 2 weeks ago against SUNY Brockport, Oswego has stayed hot with 2 more wins to keep their hopes for the NCAA tournament alive. Their most recent victory came against John Carroll, as the Lakers won 66-61 behind Devin Green's impressive 21-point showing. Only Randolph-Macon College stands in Oswego's way as they hope to advance to the NCAA tournament with a win this upcoming Friday. The Syracuse Orange were finally able to get back in the win column last Saturday with an impressive 72-63 victory over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Jesse Edwards of the Orange put the team on his back, scoring 27 points and getting a remarkable 20 rebounds in the contest. Judah Mintz put some magic on display with an impressive 17 points, as Syracuse would get a much-needed win. The Orange need a lot to go their way if they hope to qualify for the 2023 NCAA tournament. The New York Football Giants finally gave in to quarterback Daniel Jones' demands earlier today and made him a deal. Jones signed a contract for 4 years at $160 million, with $82 million guaranteed and $35 million in incentives. Running back Saquon Barkley wanted to stay and keep Daniel Jones as well, so he agreed to receive a franchise tag to play another year in New York for $10.1 million. The Giants can only hope that Jones will be able to replicate last year's performance and truly earn his money. It was an exciting game between the Oilers and Buffalo Sabres last night. First period, 8 minutes in, shot won't go from McLeod, but Connor McDavid puts it in for his 53rd goal on the season to give the Oilers a 1-0 lead. Later in the second period, game tied, 1-1. Pass comes out to Derek Ryan, and Derek Ryan makes no mistake. Puts it in to tie the game up 1-1 and get the Oilers right back in it. 2-1, third period, 30 seconds gone by. Sabres looking to tie it up, and Dylan Cousins with a spinorama spectacular to tie the game right back up early in the third period for the Sabres. But Connor McDavid has been just different this year, finding a way to pull off another Houdini act and beat Craig Anderson to give the Oilers a 3-2 lead. McDavid's 54th goal on the season, which leads the NHL, and his 124th point is his new career high as the Oilers win this game 3-2 against the Buffalo Sabres as they continue their playoff push.
Man, see, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the Buffalo Sabres can always contend until it comes down to the third period.
Yeah, they'll keep you interested, but then they'll just find a way to let you down at the very last second.
Yeah, it just makes me really want to watch some hockey, right? Especially coming in here, the Oswego Lakers this past weekend, too.
Of course,
Crazy.
Of course.
Right behind the net. I could not believe they came in here. Came in earlier this semester, whiteout game. Watched them just almost blow Plattsburgh right out of the water. I thought that we almost had it in the bag, but
yes, all signs pointed to them taking the dub.
Did you guys come down to the whiteout game this weekend?
I wasn't able to go, and from what I've heard, it was like sort of disappointing just because it was a bad loss to Plattsburgh and the Suniacs. It's just not the way you want to end your season at all. But in good news, my Giants have kept Jones. They're hopefully going to keep Saquon, so I'm happy about that.
I still have no idea what the Packers are going to be going on with Aaron Rodgers here. Speaking of New York, apparently he's down here visiting right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, the Jets are a very likely target for Aaron Rodgers, along with Derek Carr, too. Could go both ways.
Awesome. So speaking of sports, actually outside of sports, what are we thinking of for the weather going on to this weekend here?
It's going to be more of the same, less wind, which will make it feel a little bit warmer, but otherwise it's going to be most of what we've seen all winter is just clouds and relative cold. It's going to be around freezing point. Keep an eye on Friday and Saturday when you're headed out. It could be a little slippery with a potential storm system coming in, bringing in snow or rain or potentially both. So definitely check your weather app or check here at WTOP-10.
Definitely keep in mind to keep the salt in my front door to put out on my steps and everything.
Yeah, and please be aware if you're driving home, it might get dangerous.
Awesome.
Stay safe.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Dom's Dinner Bell.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Now it is time for Black Card Revoke. Like, what's this apology about now?
At least that's what I feel like. I don't know. I thought it was cute. You know?
I thought it was too.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what about this blacklist ensemble? You did a little song.
Yeah, I see it.
You did a little something. Yes.
I'm gonna figure it out though. But it won't be
Breathe to the sway.
Yeah.
And I'm Donna. And this is the Sunset Show. Grab your low-rise jeans because we're taking it back to the 2000s. Let's go, girls. Uggs and low-rise jeans.
Together.
One of the boys. Boy.
Sorry, it's my agent. He told me that you're canceled.
Shebangy.
Welcome back to the Kind of Lake Show, where we talk about anything and everything going on in our lives and yours.
Well, my birthday was November 13th, so it's been quite some time.
I think at the end we saw him get up.
I get that. I can't.
It's a winner, and I did bring you sweater for everyone.
There you go!
I know your dreams.
You
started the paper throwing, just the immaturity. You lost before you even argued.
Pretty insane that the Clippers, 10 of the last 11 postseasons, they're in there.